What's up, YouTube? This is the Brooklyn Bounce channel again. I'm here with chapter 5 of Anthony's Boy, the Prince of Bath Avenue. This is a very long chapter, and like I said, I apologize for my voice in advance. I have a vocal cord injury and my reading. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to have to break this up into 2 videos because I'm going to need to rest my throat for a little bit. So I'm gonna go for about probably 15 minutes, then stop, then I'll pick the rest of it up tonight probably. Alright, so here we go. Chapter 5. The Bosses. Joseph Tommy Calco. Well, I guess it's time that I got a word in edgewise about my life with the mafia. No one knows better about my life than I do. Even though some people seem to think they've lived inside my body and soul since I was born and can feel like they can talk with an authority about what I've done in my life and know how I ruined it and how I ruined the lives of my family, my friends, my close acquaintances. But it isn't so. They don't know the first thing about me. They don't know diddly squat, you gots, as they say in Sicilian and Italian. They know nothing about me at all. All the hits I did for the family because I was ordered to whack guys, and about the jobs I did for myself because I got a little hot-headed and crazy sometimes. That's why they called me Crazy Joey. They don't know anything about what I did for the bosses of the 5 families of New York City. Yeah, you don't know about that, did you? You didn't know about that, did you? Well, not a lot of people do. And about that, not a lot of people do know about that because I never got straightened out or made. And that's the reason why I could get close up and personal before I took people out. I was known only as an associate. And that's okay with me because I got hard jobs done and I got respect from big bosses. It was like I was an invisible assassin that nobody would ever expect to be the trigger man for. The bosses who wanted to cover their anonymity so that nobody would ever know who was behind the hits. And you know what? They had nothing to hide because I didn't even know who I was doing the favors for. Only two people knew what I was hired in order to do. Me and the consigliere and acting Don of the Joseph Bonanno family of Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, of New York City. He was Anthony Old Man Sparrow. And oh yeah, one more guy, Joseph Bonanni, who was a soldier and a close confidant of Anthony Sparrow. Mr. Sparrow and me would sit in his back room office in his West Side Social Club on Bath Avenue, Brooklyn, which was just a few doors down from where I lived. Sometimes Joe Bonanni would sit in on the meetings that the Don and me had. Sometimes if it was a hush-hush big hit, the Don and I would sit alone and think of ways of how to do the hit. Sure, I got paid good for the jobs, and the Bonanno family got its cut too. I made good money for the family, and I was invisible when I took over leading the Bath Avenue crew after I whacked Paulie Galino, my friend, who was who was leading the crew and who went psycho crazy on us. I took him out on orders from Joe Bonanni and Anthony Sparrow because Paulie put his hands on Don Sparrow, pushed him around in front of me and Tommy Reynolds and Joe Bonanni right there in the Don's office in his club. If you put your hands on a made man, you die. Bada boom. That's all there is to it. No excuses. You're out of here. I had to take Paulie Galino out because he went wacko. Remember that, and don't ever put your hands where they don't belong, or you could lose a few fingers in the process, especially if you touch a made man. Anyhow, after that, that's how I got a club of my own with real professional gaming tables, and I cleaned up real large, made lots of money, and lots of money that I paid tribute to the boss who doled out profit sharing with top level members of my family. Life was real good back then when nobody knew what I pulled, when nobody knew that I pulled the triggers, and I had my own place with all the trimmings and protection from cops and cowboys from other families. Anthony Sparrow was a quiet sort of guy who I could see always who I could see was always thinking about how to keep peace not only in Bensonhurst but all over the place. Sometimes you need a cool head to quench the flames of anger. He was a peacemaker and wanted everything to go smoothly in the business of making money and keeping casualties down to a minimum. The casualties of the dead and wounded. That was because you wanted to make as little noise as possible when you did what you had to do. Either because you were following orders from a boss, because you were following orders that that were forged from fires of your own anger about something that was very important to you at the time. And when you felt you didn't get the job done and didn't get respect, then you thought you were a fezzo, a weak fool, or worse yet, a fanook. Yeah, like they say in the upper world of our lives and in the underworld, a sissy. And I say lies because they do a lot of lying up there in the upper world. A lot more than we do in the underworld. Hey, I didn't get into Mr. Spiro's good graces the easy way. It took a lot of years before I made a name for myself, and I made a name for myself, and he came to trust me, and I think to admire me. And the truth is that I never thought I would even survive getting any older. A lot of times I really figured that a lot of times I was going to get whacked by my own guys on orders from above. But after a while, I calmed down, got centered and balanced, cleared my head, controlled my anger, followed orders, more or less, as I was supposed to do. But you all know that in the fog of war, there are a lot of plans that get changed, and so do the strategy and tactics. Like when you're just about to pull the trigger, and the bastard hears the hears a twig break under your shoe, and he turns and sees you with the gun pointed at his head. He turns around as fast as a jackrabbit it runs away before you can get a shot off, and then you have to run all over the place to find him, and you don't find him, he goes into hiding. Then you look like a stupid, careless fool, and nobody trusts you. Nobody trusts you do a job right. Nobody trusts you to do a job right anymore. Sorry about that. So I learned the hard way, and I tried not to make any mistakes, because this is my life we're talking about here, and my life is very important to me, and I have to make it last as long as I can without getting too many ventilation holes in my body, because my doctor says it's not very good for my circulation. I knew Anthony Sparrow since I was a baby. I grew up on Bath Avenue, and I played in the streets and in front of Mr. Sparrow's West End Social Club. I used to see a lot of men sitting and standing in front of the club, playing cards, drinking and eating pizzas, telling jokes, laughing and horsing around. There were all types: big ones, small ones, tall ones, short ones, smiling ones, who would talk to me and give me money to buy ice cream and candy for myself, and steam others who looked like they were thinking about taking care of business. As I grew up a little more, I went into the store and brought them whatever things they needed, and then they would give me a big tip and tell me, thanks Joey, you're a good kid. Come back again later and maybe I'll have some more stuff for you to do for me. Then they would give me a $10 tip. I liked them a lot, and I wanted to be just like them, wearing their diamond rings and gold chains, silk suits, shirts, ties. Heck, I even imagined that they wore silk underwear, and I bet some of them did. They just didn't want anybody to know that they did it, because they'd make fun of them. At that moment, I was not thinking right, and I didn't realize that I was being molded to be Anthony's boy, the Prince of Bath Avenue, the young gangsters were molding me to be a made man. In the Bonanno family, and a hitman who would kill anybody I was given the contract to kill. Anybody except my real friends and family. Yeah, crazy. Joey of Bath Avenue. The one and only. They broke the mold. They broke the mold when they made me into a psychopath and a killer. Yeah, what a life. But I would soon find out that this life is being prepared for. I would soon find out that this life was being prepared for me, But I would soon find out that this life being prepared for me was not to be all roses and candy bars and ice cream. The life arranged for me was going to be total mayhem. This two-faced life was this two-faced life was supposed to be all about respect and loyalty, and about looking out for your brother and your neighborhood. What did I know? Was that the fairy tale that was all? I'm sorry. What I didn't know was that was a fairy tale, was all cow pies and bull shovels. You can't make a life built on cow pies and bull shovels. You'll sink down into it over your head, and it will suffocate you. That dream was all fake, and a nightmare waiting to be let loose upon my life. A nightmare I couldn't get out of, I couldn't stop or make go away. I was a good little boy waiting to become a killer, a mafioso, a bonanno family made man. I can't blame anybody but myself for this, which was going for this thing which was going to happen to me. My mother and father gave me a good life. I didn't have to go suffer. I didn't have to suffer growing up in Brooklyn unless I let it happen. And I did let it happen because I wanted the gold ring and the carousel bar. The gold ring was so attractive, like a gorgeous woman, that I couldn't resist, and I had to have for my own. I had to grab the gold ring and run away, put it under my pillow at night, and dream about all the wealth and happiness it would bring to me and my family. Instead, the fake gold ring turned green and became worthless, slimy, became a worthless, slimy swamp that devoured my life and sank me in green, stinking mud and quicksand. Alright guys, my throat is killing me, I'm sorry. I'm going to stop for this for a little bit. Give my throat a rest. The next paragraph picks up when he was a kid, going to PS 163 on Bay 14th Street. Alright, that's chapter 5 part 1. I'll try and get chapter 5 part 2 out later on today. Chapter 5 is very, very long. And I usually read the chapters beforehand and then read to you guys, but this time I really didn't. I just wanted to just get it out there for you guys. That's about it. I just need to get my throat a rest. It actually hurts to speak out loud because, like I said, I'm getting I'm over a vocal cord injury. It's just permanent damage now. This is the voice I'm stuck with now. So I'm sorry about that. Alright, please like, please subscribe, please share. I don't think there's anyone else that has this book out on YouTube or on the internet, so that's basically it. As I get more money, I'll put it into my channel. I'll do more things. I'll take more trips to show you guys places. I put out a video yesterday of the actual pizzeria where the incident happened with the calzone with Joey Calco. It's still a pizzeria, it's just under a different name. That's it. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys a little bit later. Please stay safe and have a nice day. Thank you for listening. This is Brooklyn Bounce. I'm out.